Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas. Your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your Maverick information, not only on a Monday, but when it comes to the 26 model year. The order banks are opening up today for the 2026 Ford Maverick. And in this video, we're going to talk about the different changes between 25 and 26. What's different? What's new? What's changed? So you're not going to be taken by surprise when you go to order that vehicle and you've been doing research on a 25. And there's some other reasons we're going to tell you in a little bit how you can, kind of try to figure some of this stuff out. So we're going to cover this. And so make sure you subscribe to the bell notification turned on. So we're going to drop a lot of Maverick videos this week on each of the different trim levels. In fact, tomorrow night, we're going to talk about the Expedition and the Maverick and what's changed and be able to take your questions live tomorrow night. So if you have some questions based on this video, you can drop them down below and I'll try to answer those. But tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central on this YouTube channel, we're going to do a live stream and cover those questions live for both the Expedition and the Maverick because they both kind of released recently. So, but for this, and let's talk about what's changed and what's new for this model year. And not a lot of things. This is a kind of a carryover year. So you're not going to see a lot of things, but I will bring up Ford's website because I do want to show some things and let you know some things. So we're going to use it a little bit because all same trim levels as last year. So let me pull this up and also give you some little bit of information. One thing you will not see right now is we're seeing 25. There is no information on 26 model year. So I've been told from the brand team that they will not have the 26 model year build and price available where you can build it out like this. We're going to actually jump into it. They will not have this available for 26 model year until they start production for the 26 model year. Not sure why, but that is what they're doing. And they've been doing that on the other models too. So I noticed even on like Escape and Explorer and Mustang, it is not on theirs either. And they are just about ready to start production. So once production starts, so it'll probably be, I'd say mid-November before you're going to see the build and price here. Now, we are going to have it on our website. So I'm going to kind of show you that real quick, show you my screen. So this should be up and running hopefully by tonight, if not by tomorrow. We're going to have this build and price. You're going to be able to go in here and actually select it. Right now, we have the 25 Maverick, but it'll look something like this, where you can then kind of order yours out. And be able to kind of do that and build out your vehicle. Now, it won't change the look of it like it does on Ford.com, but it will give you all the information, all the details of the packages and everything that'll be accurate and up to date as of for this year's information, as well as the pricing. So you'll be able to do that on ours right there. But let's go back to Ford.com and kind of break down and kind of tell you what is different and what is new for this year. And first off, we have they have reintroduced for the XL and XLT the EcoBoost front wheel drive configuration. So last year, if you went EcoBoost, then you had to go all wheel drive. So and this year it is different. So now we'll have 3 configurations under $30,000. We'll have a hybrid and an EcoBoost front wheel drive option and an EcoBoost all wheel drive. So for this year, the hybrid front wheel drive will be the standard configuration is what they're calling it. And the EcoBoost all-wheel drive will be the same price. So pricing on those will be the same price. Does not cost you extra to go all-wheel drive on the EcoBoost. But what it'll do is if you want to go EcoBoost front-wheel drive, you will save $1,000. So you'll see a discount on the window sticker instead of seeing a different body code or whatever. And then when you go all-wheel drive hybrid, you're going to see that's going to cost $2,200. So just so you're aware of that. So really the value is EcoBoost all-wheel drive, because before where, any all-wheel drive would cost you $2,200 on an EcoBoost, it doesn't. You don't see that price increase. So that is something to take note of and look at when trying to figure this out. Now let's jump in here on the XL and then pricing on that. Let's go ahead and do that because I do have the price list here. So for an XL front wheel drive, it is going to be $28,145, and that again for standard hybrid. And then when you go 4x4 on the, of course, you go down here. I'm going to look at this. You get a discount of $1,000 if you choose the EcoBoost engine. If you go all-wheel drive, no cost, and then it's $22,220 to go up to all-wheel drive hybrid. So doing my kind of guessing math, you're $30,300 or something around there. Now XLT front wheel drive hybrid will be $30,645, and that's before your destination charges of $1,695. On XLT, if you go EcoBoost, yes, $1,000 savings. Of course, no cost to go to all-wheel drive EcoBoost, and then $2,200 if you choose to go all-wheel drive hybrid. Now, on the Lariat trim, they actually is cheaper this year. So Lariat is going to start out at $38,090, and that's going to be standard all-wheel drive EcoBoost, and then $2,220 more than that if you want to go hybrid. So you're going to be over $30,000 or $40,000 there. Now, Tremor will start out, it will be at $40,645, and that's probably a little cheaper than it was last year. I'll tell you why in just a little bit. And then Lobo, that your Lobo standard will be $35,930, with the high, that's at 702A, will be $41,425. So it's the pricing for this year, and I won't go into the pricing of the packages, but there you go. There's that. So let's first talk about some things that are pretty much the changes for across the board for all of your Mavericks for the most part. And then we'll break down each of the different trim levels. I know we're on the XL now, but we'll get into that. So first, let's talk about some color changes for this year. This eruption green is no longer available. So that one has been discontinued, as well as desert sand. So your green and your tan, those are going away for this year. So 2 new colors for this year. We do have Marsh Gray. And Marsh Gray is available on the F-150 now, if you want to get a good idea what that looks like. And then Orange Fury Tri-Coat is available this year. So bringing back an orange color, not the cyber orange. It's different. It's a darker orange. It's more orange than yellow. Let's say that. So somebody explained it like the cyber orange is a yellow orange, whereas the Orange Fury is more of an orange yellow. That makes sense. Anyway, now we will get to Lobo. Lobo does not have Oxford white as a color option anymore, but it will have space white instead. So that is a change on the Lobo colors right there. So, and then as you see here, the red, ruby red will not be available on the XL. And then what's another color not available on XL? There were 2. Anyway, I don't know. I have it back here in the back. Where's my colors? There it is. Azure gray and the ruby red will not be available in the XL. All the other colors will. And then all the colors that I mentioned will be available on the XLT, Lariat, and Tremor as well in black appearance package. And the Lobo will have carbonized gray, shadow black, space white, and velocity blue as the color options. I thought that Orange Fury would be fun on that, but they thought it might clash too much with the interior. So there you go. Although blue looks good with orange. I don't know. Not my call, right? I don't work for Ford. Anyway, okay. And then moving on from colors, we do have a couple new packages this year. The Ford Connectivity Package. We are seeing this roll out in about every I'm not sure why I'm on the vehicle when I'm really talking about things you can't visually see. The Ford Connectivity Package is, we've been seeing that on about every model now is getting that. And this Ford Connectivity Package, if I can go kind of find it, is going to give you the unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots. So whereas last year you had the Wi-Fi hotspots where you went through AT&T, you don't do that. You don't have to sign up for anything. So Ford Connectivity Package will get the unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots, audio, video streaming, voice assistant, and entertainment included. So it's kind of bringing some of those together. You get 1 year included, and then after that, you'll need to subscribe up, and you can continue with a yearly plan if you want, or they will have a one-time 7-year minimum, is what they're saying, one-time purchase of Ford Connectivity Package. Now on the Expedition, it was $1,000. As we break out each different trim levels in those videos, we'll let you know about that. Also for this year, the Sirius XM with a 360L 3-year plan option is going to be available. You have to order that from the factory, not something you can add when you get to the dealer. So if you find one on a dealer lot that doesn't have this package on it, then you're still going to have to work through Sirius after 3 months to get that. And as again, Sirius will be standard equipment on all trim levels like it was last year. So, and then a change for this year is they removed the wording of Ford Copilot 360 and under the standard equipment. So instead of seeing that, you're going to see under the functional equipment, you're going to see the lane keeping system and everything. Now, what's really cool is we'll break each trim level in a little bit and tell you what's now standard on those. But there are a couple new features that are standard now as part of that because of that. throwing that out. So now when you see Copilot 360 for 26 model year, it will be an upcharge. So less confusion, hopefully, when looking at vehicles and window stickers out there. You won't see that Ford Copilot 360 on the XL unless you add that Copilot 360 package, which then gets you those added features, which we'll go into those in just a little bit. So that is a major change. Also, another major change is the spare tire. So spare tire is not standard equipment anymore on all of the configurations. So you get a tire and inflator and sealant kit that'll be standard on your hybrid all-wheel drive and both of your EcoBoosts, front and all-wheel drive. You will get a conventional or a mini spare tire, right? Mini spare, yeah, a spare tire mini standard on hybrid front-wheel drive for XL and XLT. Just so you're aware of that change right there. So that's going to go across the board on all trim levels. So that's different and new. So let's see, whatever. Some of these things are just exclusive to certain trim levels, and we'll cover those. We're going to break out each trim level and go through those. Wireless charging pad, where it was available, is gone. No more wireless charging pad. So they removed it from even the Expedition that launched just last Friday. So that has been removed as well. So some other changes, some other trim levels. So let's get into that and break out each trim level and what is different. So now we'll go on over here and cover each of the different trim levels. So let's talk about the XL trim. We talked about the tire and inflator and seal kit. Now is going to be standard on hybrid all-wheel drive and EcoBoost. Now there will be an option for that. We'll get into optional equipment in a second, and the mini spare on the hybrid front-wheel drive only. Another change, as we mentioned earlier, is Copilot 360 has been removed. So for that reason, though, you get lane keeping system is now standard equipment on the XL. So lane keeping system standard equipment that gets you the alert, the assist, the driver alert, and the road edge detection. That's all now standard equipment on the XL. Also, the automatic emergency braking oncoming as well. And then post-collision braking, also standard equipment now on the XL. And then, of course, we mentioned the Ford, the cord connectivity package with the 5G modem was also for 1 year will be included as standard equipment. So there you go. There's that. Now let's take a look at the changes to the Copilot 360 package. There are a little changes. This year they added the wording Bliss with trailer coverage. So it sounds like to me people have been asking for this before now. Why doesn't it cover the trailer like it does in some vehicles? Well, they've now added that wording to the Ford Copilot 360 package that will include the blind spot monitoring of your trailer. They also added the wording blind spot assist. Not sure how that's different from blind spot monitoring system. I don't know. My assumption is that they've had it before, but I think when you put your turn signal on, it's going to flash. And I don't know if that's what that is. I'll try to get more information on that. Also, exit warning. So we saw that introduced into the Mustang a couple years ago. So if you're going to get out of your vehicle, it's going to like light up if there's like a bike or something coming by, so you don't open your door right into a car or right into a bike or something. So sounds like to me, even when you have that vehicle turned off, it's going to warn you if you're wanting to get out and there might be somebody there. So we'll try to get some more information on that. Post-collision braking also is going to be now added to this package, the Copilot 360, and the reverse cross-traffic braking. So if there's someone behind you, it'll warn you and everything, but if you're not paying attention to that, it will brake the vehicle. If it says, no, there is somebody there, we're not going to let you back up. So that's also been updated. And then, of course, they added the Ford Connectivity Package one-time purchase as a standalone option, available on all configurations. The conventional 17-inch spare tire is going to be optional equipment on those two EcoBoost configurations, as well as your all-wheel drive hybrid. So that's a change there. And then the Sirius XM with a 360L 3-year plan, that should be $300 for that, which is a pretty good deal. And if you like Sirius XM and you know you're going to want to sign up for that, just get the 3-year plan. That's the best deal. Add it to your build, $300, and you know for the next 3 years you're covered at less than, you don't even have an extra monthly payment. It's going to be figured into your payments. So there you go. And for some reason, they put all the DIOs on its own sheet on the end. So I probably won't cover those on each trim level, but at some point on a Maverick Monday, we'll cover all the DIOs available for this year. So we'll probably talk about them on Tuesday night's live stream as well. So, all right, now let's move to the XLT trim level. Let's talk about that. and some of the changes there. So XLT, kind of seeing here, I configured on a 25. The only change to the XLT, standard XLT, is the armrest with the cup holders. Um, kind of see it there. Oops, one. So this armrest with the cup holders is no longer there. So that's going to be a finished back. That will not be there. In lieu of that, you will get some Fits Kit console cup holders. So those are going to go behind the cup holder. So I don't know if I'll have an image or not to show you guys, but that's the little slot back behind the console. You're going to get some cup holders probably included, probably be thrown in the back underneath the seat when it comes from the factory. And then those can be put into those slots. So that'll be a change for XLT. Otherwise, nothing changed to the standard XLT. But let's talk about a change to the XLT luxury package. One major change on the XLT luxury package. Let's go to packages. Here we go, luxury package. When you went to XLT luxury package, you got an 8-way power driver seat and 6-way manual seat. For this year, the only upgrade you're getting for that is the power driver seat of 8-way. The manual seat will stay as a 4-way manual adjustments. So basically means you can adjust the height of it. So it's just forward and back and your recline. So that's a change to that package. The black appearance package, and this goes for every trim level and everywhere you would see this, and that is these front logos that are black edition front logos, front and back. Those are being discontinued, so that is not going to be available. So black appearance package will not get upgraded those, so they'll still be the blue and the white logos. That I'm a little disappointed in that, but that is a change for the black appearance package. The 4K tow package. Just something that I noticed, and maybe this is the way it was last year, and we just didn't know it because it wasn't listed in here. But it does say transmission oil cooler here. That's available on everywhere you see that. Well, in here, it's actually mentioning that the transmission oil cooler is for the hybrid only, hybrid all-wheel drive only. But it does say, which isn't in there. Yeah, it is in there. High capacity radiator 2.0 gas. So that'll be that'll be the same as it was last year. So, all right. FX4 Off Road Package. The change in this one is that on this, you will not see the upgraded unique aluminum wheels. So it'll be a little bit cheaper, I believe, and you will not see that upgrade. So you'll get the same wheel as you got on the XLT. So that'll get carried over to the FX4. So no upgrade there. So other than that package, that's nothing else. But there you go. There's that. And then the Copilot 360 on the XLT. Is also a lot of those same changes that we talked about on the XL with the bliss, with the lane coverage, the blind spots, exit warning, road edge detection, and pre-collision assist, reverse cross traffic braking. And yeah, so that's all the same for that package. And again, this one does get the Ford Copilot 360 package, one time, 7 years is included. Also, conventional spare is optional. Don't forget about that even for XLT. And then the Sirius XM with a 360L will be a package that you can order from the factory. And then, so there you go. And then also this year, the protective film hood and fenders. Last year it said not available with the black appearance package. This year they removed that. So it looks like that is available with the black appearance package. And I noticed it was available on Tremor when it wasn't last year. So, which I know we're not talking Tremor, but there you go. All right, now let's go what's next on the order guide, and that is Lobo. So let's jump into Lobo for a second and cover some changes to Lobo. So on Lobo, standard equipment changes. The high capacity radiator and cooling fan is now listed. It wasn't listed last year, but I think it was just inadvertently omitted from the order guide because we know it had a higher capacity radiator and cooling fan. So I think that they just didn't list it in there. Also, they removed the black ovals from this. So they will be blue ovals. Don't forget about that. Also, last year they had it on the door handles, the rear bumper, and the rockers. It said painted. This year they've added the word body color just so everybody know it'll be body colored painted. So that's a small thing. They also removed the wording. Last year there was a wording that said painted grill accent bar. This year it doesn't say that because there's no accent bar. So that was probably, again, inadvertently put on last year's order guide. So Something that was added to the order guide that wasn't there last year, but was included in the vehicle. So they just added to the order guide, and that is the power 8-way driver seat. So that was on the 25 model year. It just was not in the order guide because I had to confirm this myself with one of our Lobos. So there's a major change there. So other than that, of course, you get when you go Lobo 402A, you get some of the Copilot 360 features. You get that package included in that. So it will be listed on the order guide. And again, I'll get those extra features like the exit warning we talked about, the rear cross traffic braking, the blind spot assist, which I don't know what it is yet, and the trailer coverage for the blinds for the Bliss. So there you go. Now, going into that, don't forget when you go 702A, that will also now for this year include the Ford connectivity package with the upgrade of the navigation being added to it. So navigation won't be included in the connectivity package unless you're on a 702A Lobo or Lariat or Tremor. So aware of that. Also, they added in here heated mirrors, which I think it had heated mirrors last year on the 702A. It's just, again, it's one of those things I think they inadvertently had missed it. And they noticed that when they went to go do the 26 model year order guide. And then they removed the wireless charging pad from the 702A. So no wireless charging pad for the 26 model year. So, and for options, Ford connectivity package one time purchase, I believe it'll be $1,000. Actually, you know what? While we're talking about it, let me just pull up the pricing, and we'll let you guys know. It will be $745 for the Maverick. So it is same it has been on most of the other models. For some reason, Expedition they raised it to $995 for 26. But yeah, $795. So about $100 a year for that. Probably worth it if you know you're going to keep it long term there. And then the other thing is a conventional spare tire is now, again, that should be included as standard equipment, but that is what it is. The Sirius XM with a 360L 3-year plan, again, optional equipment for you, new for this year. And then, yeah, that's it that I can see right there, difference. So, all right. Now let's move to the Lariat trim level because there are some things that changed on Lariat trim level. So go down to the Lariat. We're going to move over one. All right. So standard equipment changes here. They do include in here that does mention tire mobility kit, which is standard on hybrid all-wheel drive and EcoBoost. So it's getting mobility kit is your tire inflator and sealing kit. I think they like to have the fancy words for the fancy Lariat trim. Anyway, so there you go. That's a change there. Also, the Ford connectivity package, 1 year included. Again, that's been included there for a Lariat added. It was actually doesn't need to be added. The reason they add it, because even though it's an XL and it's just coming over, is that you get the navigation as part of it when you go to the Lariat trim level. And then they remove the wireless charging pad. It will not be on the Lariat trim level or any of the Mavericks. And they also removed the power sliding rear window. That's a big one. So it is no longer standard equipment on the Lariat trim. It'll still be an optional equipment, but it's removed the standard equipment. And there's a reason they did that because, and I forgot to mention this on the XLT, but it will be available as a standalone option on the XLT down the road. And then they did remove the wording "one touch up and down front and rear windows" from the Lariat trim. So I'd assume that was something that wasn't inadvertent, but they did want that removed. So you may not have the one touch up and down feature for your windows on the Lariat trim. So now let's talk about a couple other things. Your black appearance package will not have your black ovals, the logos. They'll be blue and white. The 4K tow package, same as it was on the other ones, where the 2.5 hybrid only was added to wording was added to the transmission oil cooler. Conventional spare tire will be optional. The power sliding rear window will be optional. You probably want to know how much that is. Let me look. Power sliding rear window in lieu of fixed will be $350 to that. So I think that's the change in the cost because the price did come down. And then Sirius XM 360L you can add as a standalone option as well. And then also on that one, the protective film for the hood and fenders, they removed the wording that it's not available with the black appearance package. So I assume that it will be if you order that. So there you go. All right. And then lastly, the Tremor. So we'll go to the Tremor trim. There we go. its own trim this year as well as last year. Some people had asked about that, and there you go. So on the Tremor this year, the only change to this is they removed the black Ford ovals, so they were going to be blue now. So that other than that, that isn't the only change to this. Of course, too, just like with the Lariat trim, because it's basically Lariat equipment, I believe, plus this. So we'll not have the wireless charging pad. It will have Ford connectivity package with the navigation. So you'll get some of those things, those changes from the Lariat trim. They removed the power sliding rear window as well from this one as a standalone option now. This in here, I assume it's not going to have a spare tire, which that's a mistake, Ford. That needs to be. First off, if you're making an off-road vehicle, that spare tire needs to be the same size as your other four. That's the reason why Bronco it's the same size, should be as well. So your spare tire should not be smaller diameter to what's on the vehicle. That's not safe if you need to change a spare when you're off-roading. So anyway, just venting there a little bit. Right there, wireless charging pad also is not going to be available on the Maverick either. That was removed on the Lariat trim too. So let's talk about some options. The 7-year the Ford connectivity package 7-year plan will be optional. Sirius XM with a 360L as well, and the power sliding rear window. So those are new options. And then the protective film hood and fenders was not available last year. So it's available this year on the Tremor. So you'll have that. And they also did remove engine block heater as an option, standalone option, which I thought that was unique, but they did remove that as well. So, and then again, like I said, they made the dealer installed options its own page here. So I'm not sure when they get to the building price how they're going to do that. Probably need to get together the people that are going to put that on our website and find out if we're going to add those, include those or not. But I was a little nervous because they didn't have any dealer installed options on any of the different trim levels. I said, there's a big DIO there that would be missing if they removed all DIOs that they keep at, right? That is still on here on the DIO, so still a dealer installed option. But we'll probably show you the page because that page actually breaks down. So we might have to do a separate video on dealer installed options and not cover it in each of the breakout videos. But there you go. And then we talked about colors as well and the different packages. So there you go. So there's some of the changes for this year. Not a lot of changes, not a huge amount of changes, but some things. Production has been added to the XL and Lariat. 2% more production for those. They took that away from XLT because those are two higher demand trim levels that they noticed. That they noticed Lariat hybrid all-wheel drive was their fastest turning trim level and configuration of any of them out there. And so they wanted to ramp up production. Hybrid is still the same production. It's about 50-50. I know that Ford Authority said it was increased production for hybrid. They didn't. It's the same as it was, which was still pretty readily available. But that's the changes there. And other than that, I think I covered everything. I did do a short earlier today with some information there, but hopefully this helps you out. At least let you know, especially if you've been in the research and market for 25 and hadn't pulled the trigger on ordering one, and we're trying to find one out there, and maybe you're just like, hey, I can't find one now. You want to order 26. At least you know what's different between 25 and 26 for this model year. Hopefully this does help you out. Again, we're going to be covering this and talking about it and taking Q&A on our live stream Tuesday night, 7 p.m. So come on over. Make sure you're subscribed to the bell notification turned on so you don't miss that video. As well as we're going to do videos on each of the different trim levels. Our goal is to get them all done within this week. So XL, XLT, Lariat, Tremor, and Lobo. We'll be covering a video on each one of those of what's standard and optional on each one as a breakout. If you like more information on that and those videos, again, you want to make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification turned on. So we'll try to get those going live this week. We have Labor Day. We'll not have a Maverick Monday next week. We'll be closed, but we will hopefully get all the videos for the Maverick. Look for them in the morning. We're going to try to record them and have them ready to go live first thing in the morning, each morning. So Wednesday morning is when you'll probably see the XL with the XLT the next day, and then Lobo, Lariat, and then Tremor. So on Sunday. So there you go. So that's the plan. Hopefully we can follow through with that for you guys and get those for you. So Thanks for watching this video. Hope you did get some good information from it. Smash the like button. I appreciate it. Helps out the video. Share it out. Put it on different social media sites if you want to get this out to your friends, other Maverick lovers that you know out there that want this information. Go ahead and share that out, and helps them out. I just think this is a great way to get information out to everybody, as quick as possible. So hopefully you guys did get something from it. Until the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.